front of us. Partly cloudy skies, 30% chance of rain, 82 the high. Partly cloudy Friday, 40% chance of rain, 82. And then it looks like the weekend, we're going to have a pretty good chance of rain. The main line coming through Saturday night into early Sunday morning. And outside of that, yes, we still have some rain chances, but that's the main one to watch out for. Highs over the weekend in the upper 70s. You're listening to Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, and now on YouTube, Real Talk 995 TV. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Actually, I get
I'm glad
paid.
you're here, too.
I get paid
yeah.
every...
Because
I thought you were talking to me.
Your name's on the door.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Here's a guy whose name is not on the door, but maybe it should be. He is our senator and would-be governor. Say hello to Senator Tommy Tuberville. Hello, Senator. How are you, sir?
Good morning from the Clown Show in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, still there and still a part of it. And we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to talk with us, Senator Tuberville, because you've got some big news. We've talked about it a little bit this morning, but I'll let you have the floor on what's going on here in Birmingham.
Well, first of all, I'm excited of this past year, what President Trump has done with everything he's done at the border and our economy and trying to get our foreign partners in check. But it's great to have a friend in the White House. I know that. And in the last few months, he's given us Fannie Mae, which we'll put downtown Birmingham, which will bring in, hundreds of jobs, real good jobs. It's going to be downtown Birmingham. They picked a location for their temporary offices, and they're going to rebuild some of a bigger building right in the middle of town. So that is awesome. And again, only reason we got it, good relationship with President Trump. Yesterday, we got a huge hit done by the entire delegation. We got the Coast Guard is moving their own land training facility to Birmingham Southern. Now, what does that mean? That means that anything that they do on land with the Coast Guard, it's kind of like Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery. Everybody that's in the Air Force, sooner or later, if you make any kind of decisions as an officer level, you go through there and train for months on end. And so they decided to buy Birmingham Southern. They bought it. They're buying it. Hopefully they'll close in the next month or so. Daniel Coleman, who's the president there, orchestrated a lot of this. He loved Birmingham Southern. He just couldn't save it from bankruptcy. But it's the perfect situation for the Coast Guard. Again, it's going to be 1,000 to 2,000 permanent jobs. And then you'll have as many as 1,500 people in the Coast Guard that will come through there in a 6 to a year in average of training. And again, it's all their own land training. It has nothing to do with the ships and all those things. It is own land training for Coast Guard. And even if you're on a boat, then you have to go through training there. So it is a permanent job or a permanent employer for the downtown Birmingham. And it is going to be outstanding. And again, how did we get it? President Trump loves Alabama. That's exactly how we got it.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to Space Command, Fannie Mae, Coast Guard. My God, we're on a roll. And again, all we do is throw it out there, and President Trump says, Alabama, Alabama, Alabama. And so we're proud for that.
Fantastic. Love it. Very excited about it. Can't wait till this gets underway. Also excited about a few other things that are going on right now. Obviously, we are in a war in Iran, and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth gave us a rundown yesterday of how things are going, swimmingly, it would seem. But the Senate is going to attempt to derail this, from what I understand. There's going to have some sort of vote on trying to stop the president from making any more of these decisions. Do you catch a vibe from the Senate on how things are going with that?
Well, actually, we voted on it last night, and as Republicans, we voted it down. The Democrats, they care more about the Iranians, the Muslims, the Chinese, anybody that's not an American. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Let's do everything for somebody that's not supposed to be here. And the thing that President Trump did is he's been moving dictators, starting with Venezuela. Now he got this guy in Iran. We've stopped the drug pipelines from South America or Central America. Now we still have some coming from Mexico. I think they might possibly be on the checklist down the line. And then, of course, nuclear threats. If people really don't understand this, if Iran got a nuclear weapon, my God, they would hold us hostage every day. And we can't allow that to happen. And, of course, what does this all do? It cuts out probably about 50-60% of the energy that is available to China. And China is the big apple here that we got to make sure that we can control in terms of what they're being able to build, because they don't pay their people anything. They spend all their money on military. And that means that trying to keep up with them is very, very hard. But President Trump has got a plan. He's carrying it through. And thank God he's in office, because Joe Biden and the Democrats and Barack Obama, they enhanced Iran. And President Trump is putting them in their place. And hopefully we get new leadership in the near future there.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you some your thoughts and opinions about the entire process yesterday, where they're investigating Tim Walz and everything that's going on in Minnesota and all of the fraud that is there. What's your take on whether Tim Walz either is complicit in what happened there, or is he ignorant in that he didn't know that the fraud was going on? Because it has to be one or the other, right?
A little of both, I think. Just watching that guy during the campaign, he got some kind of issues, and I don't know what they are, but he knew what was going on. They all knew what was going on. And I hate to say this, but, the American taxpayers send up probably $5 trillion a year up here for us to waste in a lot of areas. And $1 trillion of that is stolen. $1 trillion a year, and that is, I can't express how much money that is, goes out the window for fraud, theft, crooks, sending to NGOs that are spending it overseas and coming back to the Democrats. It has been a eye-opening experience for me. I tell you what, and I just hope people start going to jail, because if we don't do it and they ever get back in power, which eventually they will, if we don't do the SAVE Act, then we're going to have a very, very tough time of doing anything, of making sure they don't do anything else. Because if you don't do anything to them now, if you don't punish somebody for doing something wrong, we all know this, they're going to do it again. And the same thing is going to happen here with the Democrats.
Sure. No question about it. Real quick, the passing of Lou Holtz. I know you coached at the same time as he, and I guess coached against him once or twice. You want to speak to the subject?
Yeah, great friend, great American, big Republican, conservative. He actually wasn't on TV a lot, simply for the fact that he was conservative. He loved the country, and most of the big stations, including number one ESPN, owned by ABC or Disney, whoever it is, they're woke as all get out. And Lou and I talked about it a lot of times, but we were competitors. I coached against him as an assistant, coached against him as a head coach when he was at South Carolina. One of the better orators I've ever been around. He could speak the King's English, and he also could mess it up, by how fast he talked. Well, what a great American, great individual. He's going to be missed. And, again, he was a very good friend. We had our ins and outs, as we all do when you're coaching, but after it was said and done, me and him had a lot of great conversations about games we'd coached against or things happening in college sports, and we're going to miss him.
Coach, thank you for your time. We sure do appreciate it, and congratulations on the good news with the Coast Guard coming to Birmingham and kind of saving Birmingham Southern campus, because so many people were really concerned about what was going to go there. But I think that this is a perfect move. So, again, thank you for your hard work with it.
Beautiful.
Yep, that's a good one.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Take care. There you go.
Senator Tommy Tuberville.
That's right. And you notice, we didn't say anything about him running for governor, except at the beginning when I said he was running for governor. Mm-hmm. So I'm not doing the equal time thing here. Yeah. No, if you're running for governor, don't come at me. We talked to him as a sitting senator. That's what we were talking to him about, okay?
No worries, Richard. You're good.
I know how this is, though, because these people that are running, they always get in touch with me.
But he's a sitting senator, so,
That's right.
from time to time, I mean, this is big what
we were talking
the announcement
to him
was yesterday.
His official capacity and as a
Just
former coach.
Leave it there.
8:15, Dixon and Vining. Talk 99.5 and talk 995.com. Flipsy's Furniture, big grand opening coming up on their new location. That is happening tomorrow. How about that? They are going to be giving away all kinds of cool stuff over the course of the day. First off, first 100 people walk through the door, get a free pillow. Then you register, and they have drawings every single hour. Empire Stereo Bookcase, Jackson Catnapper Daily Recliner. Ooh, I like it. They've got Callaway bunk beds and Joe Friend Simplicity tables and MD mattresses of your choice. It all caps off with a sofa, love seat, and chair of your customers, of your choice. And that's going to be happening right there before they close between 6 and 7 p.m. So stop by. This is the new location there in Hoover, right across the street from the Galleria next to 2nd and Charles. Of course, their other location is wide open as well. That's 1811 Crestwood Boulevard with 28,000 square feet of showroom. More in the basement. 12 months, same as cash, as well as designer furniture wholesale prices and white glove delivery. You're going to love your experience at either location of Flipsy's Furniture. Flipsy'sFurniture.com to find out more. Mountain doing a medley of their hit for us. I love that song. 820 Talk 99.5, talk995.com. It's Dixon. It's Vining. It's Dixon and Vining. Thanks for hanging out with us on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday, a.k.a. Friday Eve. Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. More than happy to build something from scratch for you if you are looking for that special someone. It could be an anniversary present. It could be something you're doing for Mother's Day. You know, they do Mother's rings if you want. That's got all the birthstones of all the kids in there. Fabulous. Maybe you're just looking for a lovely pendant, some earrings, something like that for Easter. These are the guys that can help you. That's Anthony and Company Jewelers. You can find them online at anthonycojewelers.com or in person at 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. Remember, these guys have prices so low they can't afford to have a sale. Let's do this, shall we?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, Operation Epic Fury continues, and man, oh man, yesterday was something to behold with a torpedo from a submarine blowing an Iranian ship out of the water. But it is underway and it continues. Those airstrikes in the pre-dawn hours of today hit Beirut, which is a stronghold of Hezbollah, the Tehran-backed force that has vowed to avenge the death of Iranian supreme leader. Israel is also working to intercept a new barrage of missiles that are being fired by Iran. President Trump will attend a dignified transfer of those 6 American service members that were killed in this war, and we'll have some more details about the whens and wheres that will take place. And we also heard from ex-Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. She said, take care of Iran for good. Take them out so they never have the ability to do this again. We knew that 49 heads of Iran were kind of taken out in the initial attack, which was great. And then there was another wave. Who will lead Iran going forward? We're a little ways from determining that, but this war will continue as long as there is more, rockets being launched by Hezbollah or whoever else is tied to Iran. The U.S. and Israel are going to take care of business, and hopefully we never have to worry about this again.
You can find some pretty wicked footage online of blowing up these mobile launchers as these pilots go out and drones go out and find them and then drop bombs or hit them with missiles and take them out. The mobile launchers are pretty much all that's left right now. That's where most of the rockets are coming from because we pretty much got rid of all the regular sites,
Yeah.
And I think we'll continue with this as long as there are targets to hit. And when that's over, it's going to be like, well, okay, I guess we can stop now because we've turned the entire country into a parking lot. And maybe then we can get ourselves some new leaders over there.
That's exactly what needs to happen, and it will be interesting to see who the Iranian people decide to pick, because what you had before wasn't working. If you want that same regime that wants to kill their own people, tens of thousands of people, and you've got to make that change, and it's going to be left up to them to do this. Just talking moments again with Senator Tommy Tuberville over this incredible news. If you've not heard yet, the old Birmingham Southern College campus will be now the new site for the U.S. Coast Guard. I know many of you are like, what? The Coast Guard? Shouldn't they be somewhere near the water? Well, this will be all of the training facility and classroom accommodations that they need. Lodging for like 1,200 recruits. This is the perfect place for that. You need dining room facilities, medical facilities, support and personnel, classrooms, auditorium, office space for 400 staff members. We're sitting, they needed at least about 150 to 250 acres. I think it's 193 or something like that at Birmingham Southern. So this fits that as well. And it's very close to the Birmingham airport, within 30 minutes. Checked off all of these boxes. And so welcome Coast Guard to Birmingham.
Yep.
That's great.
Happy to have you.
Yeah.
Only a small portion of that job actually involves being on a boat in the water.
Yeah. Well, again, you got to learn everything first, and then that's probably phase number 2.
Yeah.
To get out on the open water and figure that out.
Yeah, but we'll be the classroom part, and then we'll let the coastal cities handle the other stuff.
Super exciting. And Coach Tuberville just a minute ago saying be about a month before they close on this, and then don't know the timeline yet of when they will actually move in, but everything's in place. Probably maybe need to do a few renovations, and then they're in. I mean, this is great.
Somebody's going to get a nice commission on that sale, don't you think?
Ooh, I think so. Well, they got to pay that, what was it, $5 million back to the creditors, and the city of Birmingham had paid in some money, and There's a lot of money that the government's going to have to cough up.
I think they will.
But yeah, I think that's a win-win for everybody. And finally, an Alabama Senate passed a constitutional amendment that would require weekly broadcast of the Star Spangled Banner in public schools. This is K through 12, of course. The broadcaster sanction of the performance, only the first stanza, which is the one most everybody knows, of the Star Spangled Banner will be played. Then this was done by Senator Gerald Allen of Tuscaloosa. It's his bill. He said this will help to celebrate our 250th anniversary and get things going and get kids knowing once again, our country is great. Because not a lot of that, I think, is being taught in schools and to young kids. It's not till maybe later in life you really start to appreciate and understand how great this country is. And I wish they would teach it more in elementary schools and middle and high school.
Now, if you say that to a leftist liberal, they would say, oh, that's just propaganda. You want to teach our kids propaganda. Propaganda goes both ways, kids. Propaganda goes, America's terrible, it's awful because they had slavery and a civil rights thing, and now, of course, there's the transgender movement, and it's not going well for them, and America's just the worst country on the face of the earth. No, it's a long way from being the worst. In fact, it is the best, and it's the best for a good number of reasons. Number one, you literally can grow up to become anything you want in this country. You just have to decide.
President, astronaut. Remember that when we were kids? You could be the president. You could be an astronaut.
You could be an astronaut president if that's what you wanted.
You want to do both.
Yeah.
It might take a little time, but yes, you can do both.
Yeah, but, if you want to open a business, easier to do here than in almost any other country on the face of the planet.
You want to live free? You can do that here.
Able to walk up to the president of the United States and say, I think you're a terrible president. I hate what you're doing. And he's not going to throw you in jail. He's going to call you a bunch of names at his next speech. Guy came up to me, said horrible things. It was unbelievable.
Or if it's Joe Biden, just yell at you.
That's right. Hey, you dog-faced pony soldier. I'll challenge you to push-up contest right now. But, it's amazing, all of the great freedoms that we have in this country that are taken for granted, that I think a lot of kids
they don't know that.
They don't know that it's not available to them in other countries. They are unaware that is not the case in so many of these other places. I mean, good Lord, even right now in Great Britain, they have really shut down free speech. There are things you cannot say because, get this, you might hurt someone's feelings.
Stop with that.
They're making it illegal to hurt someone else's feelings. Here in the United States, we look at the people whose feelings are hurt and go, that's a you problem.
That is a you problem.
You're the one who needs to get over that. Maybe don't take what this guy is saying so seriously, or stop worrying about it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I would almost like to see this taken a little further. Beyond the Star Spangled Banner. Let's go back to really educating kids about how wonderful this country really is. History class is wonderful, but I feel like the pride is gone, and young kids don't really understand how absolutely fantastic our military is. What this country was founded on, where we are now. Mm-hmm. We are the number one country in the world. And I wish we could somewhat instill that back into young kids in the classroom.
It would be nice if we could get that going, but I am not holding my breath because, unfortunately, so many people that take that educational path through school, the ones who want to become teachers and instructors and so on and so forth, also tend to adopt a lot of very leftist policies, which is sad because if we did teach something called logic, none of their arguments stand up. None of their arguments stand up against good, solid logic, unfortunately for them. But since they're not taking logic classes, they don't know that. And that's just a shame. It's ridiculous, in fact. 545-9950. If you wish to drop us a line, we would very much like to hear from you on any subject that happens to strike your fancy. And we'll get to some of those a little bit later. We have lots of other issues that need to be addressed and discussed as well, not the least of which is the officers in Austin who ended that mass shooting the other day, the guy with the Property of Allah sweatshirt.
Yeah.
They might be in trouble. The officers who stopped it might be in trouble. What in the world it's Austin, Texas. That's the problem. It's the San Francisco of Texas. Yikes. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. 834, Talk 99.5, talk995.com, Dixon and Vining. Tiny chance of rain, more than tiny, but about 30%. 83 for a high today. Tomorrow, 82. Better chance of rain. 40, 60, and 40, I believe, over the next 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the rain could drift into Monday as well, but let's not worry about that now. Let's worry about today being a beautiful day and a day you can take advantage of. And I washed my truck yesterday. That's why it's raining. I take full responsibility.
For the weekend.
That's fine with me.
You can enjoy it a day or
I can
two.
live with it. Yeah,
before
absolutely.
rain. Yeah.
It's going to be in the garage the whole time anyway, so
Right.
it doesn't matter to me.
And just get
Y'all
you,
are getting
get
rained
you
on.
one of those giant umbrellas as you go down the road.
That's
you know,
good.
you keep
Yeah.
it covered.
I
You'll
like
be, You'll
that
be
idea.
fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
All I need is a
until it
moon.
blows inside out.
Just need
That's
a
what
moon
that Cerakote is for. The water will just blow right off of
It
it.
does, actually.
You know, it's kind of like
amazing.
Rain-X for your truck.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
It really
but
is.
it's a little bit better than
The
that.
Cerakote is wonderful. 8:35
Uh-huh.
with Dixon and Vining.
The rain, yes, it is headed this weekend. We may get some of that. And I love to know that I always have B-Dry on my side. And I learned real quick that I could depend on David Fevet and the guys at B-Dry when I was selling my house this past year. And I had an inspector go, they got a little leak over here. You got some water issues over here and some mold. And I'm like, what? So I called David and I said, hey, I'm in a panic. I'm trying to sell this house. And he's like, look, we'll get over there, see what's going on. There really wasn't any issue. There was a little tiny leak behind one of the walls. I got somebody out to fix it, but it wasn't even an issue that B-Dry had to deal with. But David's a great guy. And again, you've got something going on at your home. At the very least, get him to come out. And if there is something seriously going on, he can give you a free quote and tell you how they're going to fix that issue. And it could be water in places like your basement or your crawl space. You smell the mildew. There's a problem. Resolve it with these guys. And the reason is they've been in business for over 65 years. They got to know what they're doing. They wouldn't still be in business. 65 years is a long time. So call the pros today at B-Dry and rest assured that you're going to have a great group of people that know what they're doing. That's a long time to be in business, and they can fix it. Strongest lifetime warranty in the business. They've got some budget-friendly solutions. If you want to talk to them about that, just ask them. Call them, 205-942-1976, or look them up online. It is bdryalabama.com.
Scott drops us a line and says Richard Dixon could teach a master's class on hurting someone's feelings.
Wow.
Shut up, Scott. You're stupid and ugly, and nobody likes you.
Oh, Richard.
Oh, so this
That
is
was
free. You're not
uncalled
charging
for.
for that class.
I'm not charging at all. As a-
Listen, if you haven't learned
my gift,
Richard's
I share it with the
personality by
world.
now, you're not gonna get it.
It's larger
If
than
you've
life.
listened to this show, just give it a couple of days,
Mhm.
you'll understand. Okay? It's okay.
Then Casey
It's
sends
just
this
jokes.
in. Casey
Yes.
sends in, did I miss Steve's turn today? No, you moron.
Would
it's
you
in the
stop?
9
It's
o'clock
always
hour.
in the 9 o'clock
What's
hour.
wrong with you people? You know what? I'm
Always.
blocking you. I'm blocking you forever. You never get to text us again. That's it for you, Casey.
Well, you're being mean again.
Me?
And it's
You
free.
Being mean.
I'm. I
you be
feel
nice to these
I'm
texters.
doing my best to teach these people the
Our
lesson that
listeners
they
and our
need.
texters, you be
Yes.
nice to them.
They need to learn.
Listen, they're going to see you on May, what is it, the 15th for Jawbone Jam.
Oh,
you better
geez.
be
I
nice.
forgot about
They'll
that.
come over you
Yeah,
and give you.
public.
They'll Joe Biden you.
Oh no, not that.
Uh-huh.
They're going to challenge me to a push-up contest.
Something like
I
that.
don't want that. I'm only kidding, Scott. You're not stupid and ugly as far as you know. And Casey, you can keep texting us if you want to.
Casey's like, I'm done with you
So
too.
I've had it with you
Well, be
guys.
done with Richard. Don't be done with me.
No, you can just listen with one ear. Okay, so in Austin, Texas,
hmm
anytime there is a police-involved shooting, it goes to a grand jury. This is the doing of Jose Garza, who is the Travis County DA, and he instituted this in 2021. It was around the time, it was just after the George Floyd thing, you know?
Yes.
And so it was always like, oh, we got to put every one of these in front of a grand jury.
No, you don't.
35 police officers since then have been in front of a grand jury, or there's been a grand jury investigation, which is insane. You can do an internal investigation.
And determine whether it needs to go to a grand jury.
As we had with the
Yeah.
shooting here in Homewood, it went to Aaliyah. Aaliyah did the investigation. They
So-
came to the conclusion that it was a good shoot,
Officer, yeah,
and they
it was.
let it go.
Mm-hmm.
But so now you got these three police officers who shot and killed the property of Allah guy with the Iranian flag on the shirt underneath that,
Mm-hmm.
who was out there on a shooting spree, killing college kids at a bar in Austin, Texas. 53-year-old Ndiaga Diagne He shot and killed 3 people, left more than a dozen other people injured on Sunday outside a bar in Austin, Texas. And under normal circumstances, and until this announcement was made recently, these guys were going to go in front of a grand jury because it was going to be business as usual. Jose Garza must have read the room because he announced yesterday that the counties, we're not going to take any action against these 3 officers.
Absolutely not. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ask the families of the 3 that were shot and killed. I know what they would say. Thank you for these officers for running toward the shooting and took this guy out for the love.
Much in the same way, we
Yeah.
were just talking about teachers and all the indoctrination and whatnot because they tend to be far-flung leftists. In the case of these DAs, George Soros backed a lot of these campaigns. It was really a frighteningly smart move. If you really want to have a major effect on the United States of America, you can try to pour millions into a Senate race or, millions into a House race or, millions and millions and millions into a presidential race and think this is what's really going to sway the country. But, you don't have to spend that much to get a DA elected. All you have to do, a couple of thousand, maybe 10,000, maybe 20,000 to get the DA elected because nobody's looking at those races and people are not thinking about it. That's how you end up with Alvin Bragg. That's how you end up with Jose Garza. That's how you end up with some
be a
of
little
these people.
smarter with getting those people in there.
Well, Austin is the kind of place that it would keep a Jose Garza. I'd like to think that Alvin Bragg will not be around in New York City for too much longer. Letitia James not going to be around.
I don't know. They voted Mamdani. Jeez.
I know. I agree. It's one of those very frustrating moments where you're just like, everybody wants the same thing. We all want to be safe in our homes. Nobody wants to be mugged when they walk outside. We want drugs off of our streets. We don't want our children to be tempted by such things. And we certainly don't want our children to be snatched up by people in windowless vans. So why in the world are you electing people who will allow things like that to happen? Because whenever you hear about one of these horrible things happening and then they catch the guy, it's always a guy who's been arrested 16 previous times for crimes that begin as petty theft and work their way up to assault with intent to kill. And now we got this guy, and he actually did kill someone, or he did, again, attempted murder situation or something like that. And you go, he's been arrested 16 times. He spent all of 6 months in jail. What are we doing here? And Jose Garza is more interested in trying police officers than he is with putting criminals away. Now, there's something wrong with that.
It's all upside down, and no question about it. And God bless these brave police officers that ran to the scene and took care of taking this guy out. They've got to get rid of this. And I understand Austin is a fairly liberal city in the middle of a Texas that's bright red, but that's insane. What do you mean grand jury? Every one of these cases? No.
I can tell you.
They've got to change that.
It went, these police officers were on the scene and shot dead in Diego within 1 minute of the first shot.
Mm-hmm.
That is impressive.
That's
That's a response time. And then think about this, being a police officer in Austin, Texas, and knowing if you shoot this guy, you have to end up in front of a grand jury. You know that there's going to be that investigation.
You did what you were supposed to do as a police officer.
Exactly. And you don't hesitate. You do what needs to be done to save the people there with the understanding that you might just end up on the wrong side of this issue. That's horrific. I hate that concept.
And your whole career with just the slightest mistake, up in a puff of smoke. So it's amazing that they're even be able to get good officers in Austin.
Yeah.
Based on this rule that you have to go before the grand jury every time.
Well,
it's shocking that the people would, if they started their career there, 10, 15 years ago, they're like, I just got 5 more, or I got 10 more. I can hang in there till retirement.
Get yourself a new DA, Austin.
Yeah, definitely
get to work.
need that.
Hey, I am watching Pete Hegseth is speaking right now. He's in Doral, Florida. I'm uncomfortable with how often this pick is breaking up because I don't really want to carry the audio because I think it'll give up on us.
I've listened
so?
to it. The audio is not good.
Okay, never mind.
Well, then we'll
We'll try to give you the bullet points on it when he's through with it. But another day of kind of updating us on what's happening in the Middle East.
And that is nice that we get a regular update on what's taking place, And
he's very quick and concise.
He is.
15, 20 minutes, and you have it in a nutshell what's going on.
Having been in the news media, kind of got him on track for that. But I think about when we were doing the pullout from Afghanistan and the briefings were few and far between. and they were full of nonsense. They didn't tell
Because
us
they
what
didn't
was
know what
actually
they
happening.
didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah,
Our leadership did not know what they were doing.
it was pretty bad that we couldn't get a briefing on a more regular basis, and when we did get briefings, it was like, oh well, no, we're not leaving until we got every single person out, and then
That
we
was a
left, and
lie.
it was like, oh, it was just a couple of hundred people.
Oh no!
Turns out it was over 2,000
couple
people that were
thousand
left
there.
behind.
Right.
Unbelievable. Just mind blowing. That administration, 4 long years, 4 of the longest years of my life. I'll tell you what, we'll get to some of your texts coming up in moments. Stick around. I believe it. That is Mr. on my radio, is it not?
Yes, it is, Mr.
Okay.
Mister.
All righty.
Mister.
Soul Sister. 849 Dixon Divining Talk 99.5 Talk995.com. Aqua Systems is the best water on earth, bar none. Now, here's how my day goes, okay? I wake up in the morning. I use Aqua Systems in my Navage. I use my Navage every single day, twice a day, in fact. And what it does is it blasts water up one nostril through my sinuses and back down the other. And normally you'd have to use water that is not tap water, but because I have Aqua Systems in my home, I don't have to worry about it. I just run some hot water in that sucker and off we go. Then I take a shower in my Aqua Systems water, and I do not use very much shaving cream or really any body soap to speak of. I use some, obviously, but very little because the Aqua Systems water allows you to clean yourself so much better. Then I go into the kitchen where I pour myself a tall glass of sweet tea. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. It's this one right here. And I mate that with, of course, Aqua Systems water. Then I usually clean up the dishes from last night, which I've left in the sink to soak. They clean up very quickly because Aqua Systems water does a better job of cleaning things. Sometimes I'll go ahead and throw the laundry in when I get home, wash that in Aqua Systems water. Yesterday, I washed my truck with Aqua Systems water. Get a load of this. Not one water spot on the vehicle. Not one water spot. How can that be? How can there be no water spots on the vehicle? Because it's not hard water. That's how. Look, zero down, as little as $60 a month, or 12 months, same as cash. You can have this experience every single day of your life like I do. I'm now grown so used to Aqua Systems water that not having it is the weird part for me. You're going to love your experience with Aqua Systems. Give them a call at 383-3999. No obligation demonstration from a non-commissioned salesperson. So you're going to save money in the long run, and they're not going to pressure you at all. It's great. Aqua Systems, iwantgreatwater.com, online 383-3999 on the telephone. Let's get a look at some of the texts we have received thus far. Mike says, Richard is a drummer. We're all a bit louder and abrasive than everyone else. It's great. Thank you, Mike. KC says, I just can't quit, Richard. I have battered texter syndrome.
He said it all in caps, too.
He was yelling at us.
Yes, he's yelling at you.
B.A. from Pleasant Grove, have a great birthday, Val. I'm a Pisces as well.
Ah.
Today is his 60th.
Happy birthday, B.A.
We don't do that here. Stop it.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Other people wish us happy birthday. We don't say nothing. We don't say jack about other people.
Well, Barbara had one yesterday, and today is B.A.
You just are going to keep
Listen,
breaking
I'll do
this
the
rule,
list.
aren't you?
I love breaking that rule.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, mine is not until Tuesday.
Be that way.
But
It's
I
true.
won't be here Monday and Tuesday.
No.
So we're
She's got other places to be.
yeah,
More important
like the golf
places.
course or something like that. I don't
Christy
know.
says, y'all hush. I love Richard Dixon. Oh, thank you, Christy. I love you, too. Never
We
met
don't
you.
do that here.
No, we
That's
don't.
right.
That's
we
wrong.
don't do that. No
Why would you
hugs.
say that?
No kisses.
Yeah.
No I love
A little
yous.
creeped out by the whole
Don't
thing.
do that.
Are you stalking me?
Maybe.
My girlfriend thought I was stalking her. Well, she's not my girlfriend yet, but
Oh, that's really creepy. It's not my girlfriend yet.
8:52 with Dixon Divining. President Donald Trump announced Monday he is going to attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner for the first time as president. He declined to attend during his initial term in office due to his view that the majority of the media is unfairly biased against him. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and read his Truth Social post, shall we?
This will be fun. He's going to have fun there.
The White House Correspondents Association has asked me, your president, your favorite president, very nicely, to be the honoree of this year's dinner, a long and storied tradition since it began in 1924 under the President Calvin Coolidge. Silent Cal, they used to call him. Silent Cal. He almost never talked. He was an amazing. I'm
see you doing the hands.
I'm vamping the way that he would always drift off of teleprompter, right, when he's doing his thing. In honor of the nation's 250th birthday and the fact that these correspondents, I put that in quotation marks because they're not really correspondents. I'm not sure really
It's
what
the
they
fake
are.
news. I wonder how many times he'll say it that night.
They now admit that I am truly one of the greatest presidents in the history of our country, the GOAT, according to many. The GOAT, according to many. Who's saying that?
I don't know.
It will be my honor to accept their invitation and work to make it the greatest, hottest, and most spectacular dinner of any kind ever. It's going
Can
to
I
be the
tell
most
you
amazing dinner.
that this might be the perfect evening to do a drinking game?
Oh, my gosh.
You know, every time he says fake news, you all are fake news. Take another sip. It'll be one of those nights. I think he's doing this for his own enjoyment.
Oh, yeah.
That this is going to be joy for him to get in front of them and call them all out. He's going to end up roasting everybody there.
Maybe like Ricky Gervais in his last appearance at the Golden
Yes,
Globes.
something similar to that.
I love it. I think it'd be fantastic. For more than 100 years, the journalists of the White House Correspondents Association have enjoyed an evening with the president, a dinner that celebrates the First Amendment while supporting the work we do including awards honoring excellent journalism and scholarships to help the next generation of reporters who someday will be the ones asking questions at the White House. That, according to WHCA President Weijia Rang. I think you're just making stuff up now. A CBS news correspondent. This was in response to Trump's acceptance. Okay, I'll watch it. I usually used to watch it all the time.
Yeah, with him at the helm, we're going to have to watch it. We
We
might need a watch party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be trepidatious about this for a couple of reasons. You might remember when Don Imus was the host and Bill Clinton was, the honoree. It was pretty ugly, man.
It was. It
kinda
got
like,
nasty.
Whoa, Don, dial it back a little bit. What are you doing here? This is not cool. Now, I don't know who's going to be the speaker, the master of ceremonies here. But if it's Seth Meyers, if I were Trump, I would rescind. I'd be like, never mind, I'm not coming now.
Mm-hmm.
He must have gotten word that it's going to be somebody
friendly fire.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Somebody he can appreciate, somebody he can get behind, Rob Schneider or somebody like that. But I can't imagine who, to be honest with you. Shane Gillis, he'd be great.
Shane?
Shane,
That would be funny.
Shane is one of those guys who's like, I'm Republican light. I'm so close. I'm almost there.
Almost.
Can't bring
Close.
myself to quite pull the trigger on it, but I'm right on the edge.
They haven't announced an MC, but they have announced their entertainment.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Don't say Bad Bunny.
Renowned mentalist and magician Oz Perlman. Okay.
That's interesting.
Wow. I may have interviewed him at one point. He came to the Stardome, I think. I could be wrong about that. I might be thinking of somebody else.
The dinner is on April the 25th
Okay.
at the Washington Hilton.
All righty.
Yeah. Let's gather around.
Could be
Get
good.
some popcorn. Let's
Could be
watch
good.
this.
I'm glad to see he's doing it, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it.
He's not fearful. He's confident. He's doing a great job. And
Yeah.
go ahead. Try to roast him.
He has a lot. And by the way, he's basically he's shown now just how bad the fake news is, and I think a lot of America's on board. It's difficult to remember that as recently as, I want to say, 2012, if it appeared on the news, most of America went, well, it's on the news, it must be true. And Trump was the first guy to go, not
Just
the
because
case.
it's there. Yeah.
They lie all the time. Look at how much they lie. And then he'd bring the receipts and be like, look how wrong they are about this. Look how wrong they are about that. When the whole Russian collusion thing, that really blew up in their faces in a big way. And had the mainstream media approached it the same way they had other scandals, it would have been bigger than Watergate. But they didn't. Their lack of curiosity on the subject wore me out.
It's to protect the Democrats and to try to bring this president down.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And they honestly didn't care whether there was any reality to it or any facts behind it or not, which I found quite frustrating. I'll never forget reading, it was the July 21st of 2017. There was a New York Times article, and somebody had reprinted it in its entirety because I couldn't get it, the New York Times, but they reprinted it in its entirety, and I read it almost verbatim, like I may have skipped over a couple of paragraphs on the air, but I read it almost verbatim, and it had to do with intelligence reports that found that Donald Trump's administration and campaign had colluded with the Russians. And I said, if you had access to these reports, first off, which intelligence agencies did they come from? Because that's not listed
Put
here.
it in the you have to put it in the article. You're supposed to.
How about a quote or two from these reports?
Right.
Not
Nothing
a quote.
there. See, that's not journalism.
Can you name a person
That's a
that was involved?
rag. That's a rag.
The New York Times won a freaking Pulitzer for that article.
Yeah.
Won a freaking Pulitzer for that article. And later, James Comey, the guy who was in front of, he of course got fired by Donald Trump. He was the head of the FBI. But he testified in front of Congress and talked about how wrong the press got it and pointed specifically to that article as being nothing in that was correct. And the freaking New York Times won a Pulitzer for that. That's how bad the press was at that point. And Donald Trump pointed it out on a regular basis. And now pretty much at least half the country says, if it's on the news, I question it immediately.
And that's not a bad thing. I'm glad that he was, that he pointed it out and showed examples of that. I mean, again, think of what would have happened if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, where we would be right now. I mentioned that earlier. I was like, oh, my goodness.
I don't want to think about it.
It would be horrendous where we would be at right now.
Christy says, I'm a Pisces too. I knew you really loved me. Rhonda, love mean old Richard. Excellent. I'm just going to keep being mean old Richard then. Chris writes in his favorite Burger King memory. Did we ask for that?
No, but what is it? Let's hear it.
No, it's too long.
Come on.
I can't
What
get
is-
it.
come
We're going to
on.
get to the news
It's a whole
before I can
story?
possibly. It is. It's a big,
Put it in a nutshell.
long-ass
Come on, you got
story.
10 seconds. Go, Richard.
He went to Burger King and had a good time. There. Let's
That's
sum
not
it up
it.
for
Come
you.
on, that
There
can't
you
be
go.
all of it.
That's all there was.